Alright guys, this is One-Legged Josh, and this is our next elective lesson for the Bush class on Bushcraft USA. Paracord bracelets. Pretty easy to do, but not everybody knows how to do it, so Terry decided this would be a good elective lesson. First thing you're going to need is a bunch of paracord, whatever colors you want. There's several differences depending on what you want. If you want an all paracord bracelet, you can set it up with just knots, overhand knot on one end, and that's how you will attach it. You can set it up with metal attachments, and then you just run this, of course, through there. Most people like the plastic Fast-Tex buckles. The difference in this is all one piece of cord. All of these are two pieces of cord. You run a girth hitch on this end, set your length around your wrist, and run a girth hitch around the other end. Make sense? And then you start at this end and you weave your way down. How you start these is the hardest part. It's just one knot that you tie the whole time that you're making a paracord bracelet. But, well, first thing, for the two-piece, take a piece that's as long, roughly as long as your wrist. You can always adjust it later, and that's what it'll be, or as long as the person you're making it for is wrist. This is a double piece of cord just so I can illustrate better. All you do is burn it in the middle, and it is very, very strong. Alright, so how you do this? Under the bottom, kind of hold that all together. Make a big S and hold it all. The first knot is always the hardest, but once you got it set, you're in good shape. Run it down through the first side of your S, twist it, make it straight, and then up through the other side of your S, all while holding this all together. Like I said, the first knot is the hardest one. And you take all this cord and you just snug it down tight. You can always adjust this later, as long as you don't pull it too tight. Okay? Pretty easy. Now whichever side has the outside loop, this is an inside loop, this is an outside loop. That's the side you make your next S on. Make an S, drop it down through, bring it back up through, and you run it down tight. Now the first couple of knots are not going to look correct. I don't know why, that's just the way it always is. Just keep going, and you can always take it out. Now this side is the outside loop. Make your S, down through, and then of course back up through. After, I don't know, 5 or 6 different series of knots, it's going to start looking like the standard cobra weave. Outside, S, down through, up through. You just make sure it's all untwisted when you do it. Take your time, and it will turn out good in the end. Alright, now that you've seen a few series, and you just keep going. The same exact sets of knots, you just keep going. I'm going to switch to another bracelet to illustrate what it looks like after a few series. Same weave, You can pick it up either way, it doesn't matter. There's an outside loop if I'm doing it on this side. There is the outside loop if I'm doing it on this side. You just pick it up, run the S, down through, and then back up through until you have the length you want. Pretty simple stuff. Pull it tight. You can straighten it. You can do all kinds of stuff with it, and you can always undo a few sets as you go. This is another piece that was two different colors burned together. The average length that I'm finding is about 12 feet to do the whole outside weave. This is a single color, same thing, but it's just going to attach with the knot later on. You can tie a decorative knot, you can tie whatever. As you get into bigger items, it's going to take much more paracord. I think there's about 50 feet in my hat band, cobra weaved all the way around, and you have to guess at it. On the one with buckles, it tends to twist up just a little bit. I don't have a jig, I just tie them all freehand. You just run it down to where you're comfortable with, and then when you get down towards the end, leave a little bit of slack. Make sure everything's tight. Cut the two ends off close. Whoops. And then you burn it. We were planning on doing this outside, but the wind is blowing so bad that we had to do it in the garage. So then after you burn it, it just goes together, obviously, like that. You can make this knot bigger, you can make it smaller, you can turn it around, do whatever you want, but it will have positive retention. I know a couple of guys that have thrown a couple stitches right there, but if you go with one of the clips, you don't have to worry about the knot. This is a cobra weave, cobra braid, whatever you call it. You can obviously see the difference in size between these two. All you do is you start another series right over the top, and you just overweave the same knot and everything else right over top of your cobra. Cobra, king cobra. That is, it's basically getting that one knot down. Pretty simple. Outside loop, there's the inside loop. You make an S and you hold it all together. You run it down, through, and then back up through. And then you just pull everything to where it's snug. You can make it as tight or as loose as you want. I usually snug mine up pretty good, and like I said, about 6 foot per side. You start directly in the center of your 12-foot piece of cord and just braid it down as long as you want it. That's basically it. So give it a shot. Like I said, it's an elective lesson to give you more choices on your Bushclass experience. Good luck, guys, and have fun.